Good morning, Facebook. It's Thursday. It's 10 o'clock. It's Blabbing for Britain, episode 213. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
I had to rush through that. Right, okay. Now, Peter is with us, and Peter is on his iPad, so we're going to try and adjust things so that... Right, okay, that's as close as we can get. I might change the setup during the course, but we'll just say good morning to Tish. Very early in the USA. Good morning, Tish. And now you can see how much of a mess my office is. I'm going to try and sort that out. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. How are we all?
Not too bad.
Tired. Pete looks like he's been up since 6 o'clock and done a marathon run.
I've had the best sleep ever for a long time. I woke up at 10 past. Funnily enough, Sheila said to me this morning, she's in Inverness with a puppy. And she says, oh, great, best night ever with the puppy. It slept until 10 past 7. And that was exactly the same time that I woke up down here.
So you and the puppy have interlinked minds now.
Yeah, it's funny how tiring it is because, it's just you hear her crying at 4 in the morning. Exhausted. But anyway, so we both woke at the same time, seemingly.
Good. Right, okay.
What the noise was, it's my phone buzzing. I've turned it off, but it's buzzing now.
Yeah. I'm getting calls today as well.
Yeah. Something happened last Friday. Didn't it, Peter?
What's that?
You predicted it and it happened.
What's that?
They see it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. I've been watching it, and it was a very good speech, but I've forgotten the guy's name. He's saying, you set a precedent. Every president that comes up here now will be able to get impeached so easily because you want it to, so you get a stain on their character. Yeah, but he was impeached.
Is that what Stephen was talking about, though?
It could be. I was so, I wasn't.
Meant
that last Friday we left the European Union was, I think.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, that is right. Yeah, and I actually put out a post somewhere. I'm looking over. I've still got my medicine. Yeah. I haven't had to go out and fight for any medicine or anything yet. I've still got it. And I can't, and the streets are clear. Do you know, when I jump in my van, so the streets are clear. I thought it was going to be traffic jams. Where are they?
You know, our streets are very slippy today. We had an extremely tough frost last night.
Yeah, it's cold down here too. I don't think we'll see the results immediately, Peter.
No, but according to in the past, they said as soon as we leave, there'll be job losses, there'll be this and that. I'll tell you what's making me laugh just now. Mm-hmm. The amount of car people have said, we may move out of Europe and go to Britain. Did you notice that?
Honda.
Was it Honda? Somebody said...
Nissan
have said,
yeah.
We'll take our car factory to Britain because they know that we are going to be a nation to deal with.
I don't think that's quite what they meant. What they meant was that they sell 80% of their cars in the UK.
Yeah.
So if it becomes difficult to ship them abroad to Europe, they won't bother.
Yeah.
Need to check that.
Well, there's all sorts of interpretations, isn't there? But that is a bottom line, that they don't actually sell that many Nissans abroad because a lot of the Nissan models are correspondent with Renault models because they're the same company.
Are
they? Okay.
There's also been people applying to come to London in the financial sector.
We'll all know what's happening on the 31st of December, won't we? Until then, it's probably not worth worrying about.
But they'll want you to worry about it. They'll be putting everything in the way. The Nancy Pelosi's of Great Britain, they'll be trying to put stumbling blocks all the way in, and they'll be ripping them in half when they don't get their way.
But we don't have a Nancy Pelosi of Britain, do we? Because the Labour Party fell to bits.
Yes.
Right.
Or the male equivalent.
Let's say good morning to Tish, Kelly, Claire, and Michelle.
Oh, Mickey D's here.
And
Claire
is saying 430,000 job losses so far, and we haven't left yet. Right. Okay.
Where are these 430,000 job losses?
Yeah, I'd like to know that, actually.
Claire, can you expand on that?
There is a slot if you want to come and join us.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any benefits of leaving yet, Peter.
Of course you would. No, listen, who in their right mind would think it would change the next day? Either way, there's going to be no change for a while. There's going to be no change. It's just carry on as normal at the moment. Carry on regardless. And then we'll find out later. I'll be interested to see the fishing one, though. That's going to be the one. That's the telling one. What's going to happen there?
Whether we actually get back control of our fishing area.
And then we might put out some licensing and say, there you go. You can have so many ships into our place at a time, but no big catchment ones. Limited. There's all these sorts of things going on. But I'll tell you, I don't know if you're about this. Do you know Holland is actually a lot of people in Holland are asking for a referendum because they want out. Were you aware of that?
John and I weren't, but
yeah,
we are now.
Of course, because I read news that you don't see, because the mainstream media won't tell you. But they've been polling and interviewing people, and they want to have the same as us. They want the chance to vote in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I noticed they're opening up the Balkans and things for joining the EEC. I think my prediction is, because you know I'm good at these. You know I'm good at them.
Not bad, Peter, not bad.
I reckon that there's going to be a split in the union. It's the crack, and there'll be more to come. I really mean that.
Scotland, Ireland, or Wales?
No, I'm on about the European Union.
Oh, European Union.
Yeah. You know, the Scottish government's not having a great time. We had one guy resign today. Was you aware of that?
I did, and that was it wasn't for political reasons, was it?
No. But it'll be used politically against them.
Mm.
And basically the climate summit is not going to be in Glasgow. She's not happy about that. Things aren't going right for the SNP just now.
Okay, now Claire said, whilst we were just chatting there, Claire said there's a Facebook page and a Twitter account which lists them all, and more information. Fishing being less than 1% of the economy, we sold our fishing quotas and export 75% of our fish to the EU. All right.
There's actually, if you go to smallbusinessprices.co.uk/Brexit-index, there's a full breakdown of what industries, how many jobs, etc. lost so far. But they're not what have been lost as a result of coming out of Brexit. They're what have been lost as a result of the Brexit decision 3 years ago. And it's 436,000 according to them.
Right. Okay. Right. So Peter knows part of this story because he heard me tell it earlier in the week. Last Friday, it was decided that there would be not a wake, but 11 o'clock we actually left the EU. So we decided we'd have a meal beforehand in a pub in Pewsey for pro-Europeans. So we went there and we were enjoying a wonderful meal, and we were sat downstairs and we discovered upstairs was a Brexit party. So you got Remainers downstairs and you got Brexiters upstairs. And we didn't need to. to meet, but when it went 11 o'clock, they started playing God Save the Queen upstairs, and it got a bit raucous. So we went outside in the rain, and were interviewed by BBC Radio Wiltshire. But it was an interesting experience. We actually we did our bit, and yes, yeah. And last night, devisers for EU has now got to decide what it does next. So there was a meeting last night, and there are 450 people on the Facebook group, and over 10% of those turned up at a meeting in the middle of nowhere to actually discuss what's going to happen in the future. And the decision is that the group will carry on. Its aims and its raison d'etre has obviously changed, and all that is going to be worked on. But all the groups throughout the UK who were campaigning to stay in the EU are getting together, and they're going to form a new force, a political force, hopefully, which will not only monitor what's happening with regard to Europe, but also be positive in actually taking actions which will keep us closer to Europe. I gave a speech to the meeting about twinning, and encouraged everybody to get involved in twinning and to actually encourage links between England and Great Britain and Europe, and for those links to grow whilst we're in a situation we are at the moment. So there are positive things taking place. It's not us versus them anymore. It's just we need, as a country, still to be in touch with Europe. What do you think about that, Peter?
Well, I'm just so disappointed that you can't say, listen, it's happened. What can we do to make sure we do our bit to make us a good country and get everybody back together? Yeah? That's what I would have liked to hear, something like this. We didn't get our way. Let's see what we can do to unite and make sure we make a good living for people out of this country.
The major point that was made was that they don't want an us and them situation. So from now on, there's only us. Us is the UK, everybody, and yeah.
I don't want an us and them situation. If Labour win, we have to live with Labour ways. If Conservative win, we'll live with Conservative ways, and just get on with it. That's what I say.
Right.
There's no point in trying to turn it around at this point in time. Give it a chance.
What's up there, John? Look up.
Okay, understood, Peter. Yeah. So the question for John is,
What's up?
He's got to look. He keeps looking up.
That's because I've got another monitor above this one.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my laptop, but my 27-inch monitor is behind the laptop. So I've got the news scrolling, so I can see if there's anything exciting. There isn't.
But anyway, gentlemen, it happened. We got Brexit, and now we'll move on. No point in dwelling on the past.
I know.
What's next on the agenda?
Spartacus is dead.
Spartacus. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've got that on the list.
103.
Okay. Are some of you? Yeah. What do you want to talk about him?
Well, he is a legend, isn't he?
He's
Great
also
actor.
a dynasty with his sons
Yeah.
and grandsons, an acting dynasty. He's probably the last of the greats, isn't he, from the 40s and 50s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very fit man in his day.
Mm-hmm.
Very fit man.
So did that contribute to him staying alive till 103?
Probably did. It's a funny thing in life how people get to live longer than others, and it's just a strange thing. It's just, did he drink? Did he smoke? I don't know that. We just give our chance. So good old Spark. It was one of the best movies. I'm Spartacus.
No, I'm Spartacus.
If it had been me, I would have said, he's Spartacus, him.
We are Spartacus.
No, him. I've got a couple of things to mention. I don't know if you've heard the agenda.
Yeah.
What do you think of Nancy Pelosi ripping up the paper behind Donald Trump?
That was the second act. The first act was when President Trump actually snubbed Nancy Pelosi and didn't greet her formally as is custom. So he didn't greet her, and so she said, "What is written in this speech is a pack of lies." And I'm going
pack of lies. Even the Tuskegee pilot, 100 years old. Even the woman whose husband died in Afghanistan with her child there. That was all ripped up.
John?
It's happening over there and I don't care.
Okay. Right, okay, let's catch up with the comments. Right. Someone you're reading from, and it's grand old age. Okay.
Right. Very nice comments.
Yeah. I think it's theatrical, Peter. It's entertainment. I mean, there's somebody saying that this is actually reality TV in the States.
It is. It's showing up politicians for what they are. I've never seen such childish behaviour for grown adults in all my life. Both sides.
Agreed. It is both sides. Right, on to the next story. And I did these last night, so I've forgotten what they were, as it is. So Trump has been acquitted. What's this? No. Here's a turn up. He won't give Speaker Bercow an honour, but he's giving honours to Hammond and Clark, who were arch critics of his policies.
He has little choice in Clark, having been a MP for, was it 59 years?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So just showing you as well, it's not grudge politics he's given them. Bercow was a special case. Yeah? And it's funny how that general who was getting bullied by him, supposedly, that didn't come out during the Brexit time. It's come out now. They held it back about his bullying tactics.
Whose bullying tactics?
Bercow's. Have you not read the news?
I always find it difficult when people wait till somebody's left to start criticising them. If you've got something to say, you should say it when it's happening.
He did, but it was suppressed.
Yeah, Pete's right. It was suppressed. Sorry for this. I'm trying to get Peter's vertical. It's not.
Sorry about that.
I'm a lover of symmetry, and we don't have symmetry at the moment.
Sorry about that. I'm on my iPad. I'll try putting it on, but it won't work.
How's that? That's
it doesn't work.
Walking your hand. That's good.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, you just need to line yourself up and perhaps more of your head than your shirt.
Need the top of your head, just a bit more. That's better. Now we're symmetrical. I'm happy now.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
I'll try and get rid of that light.
Right.
I'll turn off the light actually.
Do not adjust your set. Peter's adjusting his. And,
okay.
We're back.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have many. Right. Okay. Let's go on the buses, shall we? The government unveils a £50 million plan to create the first all-electric bus town.
Yeah, it'll be a disaster.
How so, Peter?
we've had things up here, bendy buses and spent a fortune, stuff like that. And it's just been a disaster. Charging points and buses too big and etc., breaking down. We've had cops running after villains who've laughed at them because the electric vehicle didn't have the power, etc., etc. I think it'll be a disaster to begin in. They don't have the infrastructure for it.
But that's the idea of the £50 million, is to create one place with the example of the right infrastructure.
A template.
Well, I've just got one thing to say. Please don't make it Birmingham. Okay.
Yeah. Don't make it here. I've just got a free bus pass this week coming in. And
we don't want to know. How dare you talk about something we can't have in England?
There you go. Good. It's the Scottish government's like drug dealing, giving you something for nothing. You know.
Right. Perhaps they
have
could.
You got your money back from your over 60s rail pass yet?
No, but I just booked another trip with it. I'm going down to Huddersfield. Is it Huddersfield?
Wiltshire.
I'm going down to Leeds, direct to Leeds, and then from there I'm going to Harrogate. I'm going with it.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. I was.
Are you going to see Betty?
Betty's tea room.
It's actually a pest control day. So I could have taken the bus to Edinburgh free and then got the. Oh, have you heard about my award?
Have you actually won?
We haven't. Just no. Tell us about your award, Peter.
So last year I says, right, I put in for a couple of awards and I says, this is getting expensive. I'm not putting in for that anymore. And then one come up about Scottish veterans in aid of the Army Benevolent Fund, the Soldiers Charity. It's a little. It goes on. It's been on for years, but it's a little known one charity, but it's big, and so they came up and I says, I'll put in for a couple. I think I'll do that just to help him. And so I put in, this is for inspiration, and basically I said about going back to basics after losing everything, living in a porta cabin, and just all the things that had been taught in the army. I kept going, built up again, and I've actually employed ex-servicemen. So I'm in the final for that, and also it said, what have you done in sport or anything like that? So I put in about my cycling and how I'd set up the Facebook page and what have you done to inspire others? I said, well, I've inspired them because of my health and the way I'm coming back, and also encouraging and inspiring others to come out with me on a bike run, and became a run leader. And I'm in 2 finals.
Congratulations, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Brilliant.
I was quite surprised as well. Well, I know there was, I think 2 entered.
No, we didn't. Good morning, Stephen. There's a light shining on you this morning, and it's obliterating most of you.
Yeah.
What's
that
it?
Sun, the shade.
Oh, shade.
It's the sun, is it? It's the sun.
It's gorgeous. It's 90 degrees over there.
What else have you got in your agenda, my friend?
Well, I've just got a comment from Claire directly for you, Peter. Your fridge art is being admired.
I often worry about that in case you see my court cases or anything coming up.
Right
now,
Stephen, we've been to America. We've visited the UK.
You've missed it.
We've done impeachment and Brexit.
Good. I don't know how long I've answered. I've got customers calling, which is really, really fab place to be. But you don't want to be doing customer support when you're live on Tinterweb. But Jolie, what's new?
Well, Trump got impeached. You maybe knew about that, did you?
Yes.
Okay, right. Now, there's one thing that's been bugging me.
Just one.
Should Alistair Stewart have resigned for what he put back in a tweet?
I don't know. Didn't see it.
Guys, Stephen?
I think it's well over the top. I mean, the guy who he had the discussion, the argument with on Twitter, said it was a storm in a teacup, and he got an apology from him, and it was over. But we're going to a stage where you can't say anything on social media which goes against what your employer believes in, and
Yeah.
there's free. They don't have freedom of speech. It's as simple as.
Right, so basically, I don't know if you know about this, but this year in February, there's actually a free speech union started, yeah? And I know someone in Aberdeen that's involved with it as well. And it's for things like this. But do you know they had a crisis meeting after Alistair Stewart left because he offered to give the man a personal apology, and ITV said no. And they are absolutely astonished by the backlash against them for it. Yeah? And even the man who is basically, as far as I'm concerned, a race baiter, because if you look at his tweets, and some of them have come down now, he says an apology would have been off. Now, there's a lot of things happening in life that are backfiring just now on people. So here's my next prediction with backfiring. Donald Trump is going to come in and he's going to slaughter the Democrats. That is my prediction after the impeachment. So that's it.
Yeah, having watched the Iowa caucus where they were voting, and they're voting. This is just arcane. The way of voting was they went to the local sports hall, and they stood behind a placard for the person they were voting for, and then somebody goes around and counts the numbers.
Counts them. Yeah,
it's absolutely ludicrous. It's not high tech, is it, Stephen?
It's no, it's not. And they've had an app. They built an app. Would you believe? And
that's right.
It cocked up a little bit. I think is a technical term.
And you said we won't be using the next one.
Just to go back to my post-truth advocate, Mr. Peter Stewart, Trump will probably not be standing at the general in November. He certainly won't do any debates during the campaign trail itself against whoever. And he will, I think, to use your expression, he will be slaughtered if he does stand. The Democrats the Democrats will get a president, and they will sack off at least half a dozen senators in the Senate. So that's you have your prediction based on your view of your facts, and that's mine based on my view of the facts. He is a complete. He is mentally ill. He is suffering from narcissistic. What was the word? Malignant narcissistic syndrome. He's showing all sorts of evidence of extreme drug abuse, and he's on the sort of road. He's quite a long way along the dementia road. And it's the corruption of the Republican Party, which is helping him to stay in power. The abuses of power, the amount of lies coming out of his mouth, stunning.
He should be impeached again, I think.
Pardon?
I think
he will be impeached again. The House has got so much evidence on this bloke. There's absolutely no.
Here's something to. What about creepy Joe Biden, who was slaughtered in that war? What creepy Joe and his son? When they're looking into that, that's something they should look at. Wow.
Joe Biden is a private individual. If anybody
wants to be president,
hold on, sunshine. He is a private individual. There's nobody has brought any case against him whatsoever. The Republicans have been in power in the Senate, and they've had the Orange Monster there for 3 years.
We shall wait and see.
Yet, nothing.
You know that I'm a visionary, and you know how many times I've been right. We shall see.
We also know, well, we're all right and wrong all the time, Peter.
I'm quite right a lot of the time. Don't you admit?
The problem that
are you a genius, Peter? Are you a stable genius? Are you?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
And you go, Stephen.
Right. The problem we have is that any set of facts can be skewed according to our own perceptions of the way the world should be run. And I've got to say that you're both pretty accurate, which is the problem, really. And it's the problem in the UK as well, that the same set of facts and can be, well, some people see them one way, some people see them another. John, help!
I don't know why we're even wasting our time discussing
That's a good point, John. That is a bloody good point.
Okay. In that case, let's go to Michelle. And Michelle has a rather long comment. John, would you like to read Michelle's comment when I can get to it?
Going back to Kirk Douglas, he didn't smoke for 40 years, brackets only started because of movies, and he hasn't drank for many years. He was allowed one on his 100th birthday.
Wow. I might live that age then, because I don't drink or smoke. Oh.
Thank you, Michelle.
It's got to be worth living for. I'll tell you what I would hate if they turned on Sunday, they said, Nancy Pelosi is now the president. Oh my. I would have to live then.
You can't be.
She can't be. She can be the president once they impeach Trump and then they impeach Pence. That's when she becomes president.
Now, where's her name Pelosi come from, do you know?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell us.
No,
Italy, I would imagine.
Is it? Yeah. Because you can't, like Sylvester Stallone, I think. No, what's the guy from Austria? You can't be the president of the United States if you weren't born there.
But you can be governor.
You're talking about Mr. Schwarzenegger, who served 2 terms as governor of California but couldn't go any further.
No, that's right. Yeah. Because he was
immigrant.
Yeah, he was an immigrant. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing that was talked about at the meeting last night by Angelica, and that is the plight of EU nationals in the UK and the plight of British nationals in the EU. And it's not been resolved, and it's unfair to millions of people. And the sooner they can get, that's one of the first things in March that they should actually get down to sorting, is the right of people to actually stay where they are.
I don't think anybody here, if they haven't applied properly, because that's usually, it goes in the press because they haven't applied properly, people should have nothing to fear about staying here.
Okay. Peter, just imagine you're over 70.
Yeah.
You don't have a computer.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
To get someone to take you to the local library to do it with you.
Okay.
I have to say, actually, that for some strange reason, I was in the local library. It's at the end of the road I actually live in. Literally is at the end of the road. And I was amazed the services that they offer.
Yeah.
Where you don't have your own computer, we will help you do it. Passport applications, everything you could think of.
Yeah. So it's not an excuse.
Okay, catch up with the comments again. Right, and they are from a while ago because I've just found them. I think Trump will win again, even though he has some of his best are turning against him. He's definitely
won.
There's something not right. And on to Michelle. Michelle is saying Peter is always right. Of course he is. We know that.
Most men are, to be fair.
There's a smile there at the end, though, John. And,
well, I think we've all known Mickey D for certainly you and I have known Mickey D for quite some time, and we knew that it was very much tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, not sure why. Is this me?
No. It's not. It's about the Iowa caucus, and that's a strange word. Not sure why there's so much focus on the Iowa caucus when we need to be focusing on issues close to home. All of which brings us to Stoke City Football Club.
Oh, this is where I make my coffee.
Yeah.
There's no news. It's all going backwards.
I thought You're not bottom and points behind everybody else like you used to be.
True. We got hammered 4-0 by Derby on Saturday, I think it was, and so this weekend's quite important. But yeah, we're one above the drop, so to speak. 2 of them are out. The bottom 2 are out. They're well behind, but we're still fighting. And blah blah blah. Well, it's the usual thing with Stoke. They're never going to have anything considered. Success will be staying where we are in the league now, i.e., 1 above relegation. That's success, which is a bit of a diamond.
But you're owned by the highest paid woman in the UK.
I met her the other week.
Okay, now that's a story.
Me and Denise. You remember I've got an office in Keele University in the Denise Coates Foundation building.
Ah, right.
B6, as it's called. And they had the official opening of it last week. No, 2 weeks. Week last Friday. And so all the great and the good popped across. And there's a plaque. And she moved the curtain on the plaque. Didn't say anything, but, she was there. So we had her presence. And
so did she chuck money at it then? If it's
I think she put 2 million. She put 2 million into the
to avoid paying tax on it.
Oh yes, well,
I'm not being nasty.
Who knows?
That's, the amount of money she draws. That's the kind of thing she's got to do.
Highest tax. The most amount of tax paid by an individual in the UK. So she paid herself 300 odd million quid last year and paid half of that in tax. And my opinion, good luck to her. There's lots of people who don't like the fact that she's got one of the biggest online betting platforms in the world. And apparently, the Yanks are opening up the market for online betting. So there's huge opportunities for a Stoke-based company.
I mean, if you remember, she started her online betting enterprise from a porter cabin in the corner of her dad's betting shop car park. Now she's swallowed the betting shops up inside the business, and Dad helps her run the main business.
Yeah, it's an incredible story. It's a brilliant story. And of course, you got the Caldwell empire as well. Again, worth billions. I mean, I don't think he's involved with it anymore. I think
he sold it long ago
to his sons, I think. And he now, where I am at Keele in the Denise Coates building, there's another building about 300 yards down the road, which is the sort of central location for the children, the Caldwell Children Foundation or whatever it's called. But it's an amazing building. I'll take some photos next time I'm there and show you sometime. But it's where children come for treatment and all sorts of services. But again, it's another billionaire in Stoke, from Stoke.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's as I said, there's a lot of criticism about the fact that she pays some people so much, and she pays her IT staff an appropriate amount of cash. But it's her money. He owns the company. It's like me saying to Peter, I don't approve the fact that you took 20 quid in wages because your employees only took 6 quid in wages. It's got bugger all to do with me.
Do you know what they should do? If you want to do that, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go. Go for it. It's the same. Yes, it's the same. Look, my dad was a gambler, and he was a drinker, right? I've seen both, gambling and alcoholism. Not everybody will be an alcoholic. Not everybody will be a compulsive gambler. And they've got something there to help alcoholics, and they've got something to help compulsive gamblers now, And so there's things out there to help. I personally don't.
Isn't it the case that there's almost like a levy?
Yeah.
Maybe voluntary, a levy that they pay to you know, if it once it's is it something like if it's no longer fun, then stop for the gambling one.
Yeah, gambling.
The other one's drink responsibly, isn't it?
Something like that. I mean, there are two bodies there, but you see, the government's getting a fair bit of cash back from it. You know, drinking, smoking, gambling. What if they weren't there tomorrow morning?
Well, you've also got the.
I'll have to come off, guys. You cut me off.
You also got the electric car tax, which is going to come soon because they're not going to be able to take anything from
Petrol.
So it's different. It's all change, isn't it? All change.
It is all change as Peter goes off to take a phone call and I reappear. Right, okay. Our next topic. By the way, to everybody who's watching, if you've got something you would like us to discuss, then please post it and we'll do what we can. But our next topic is this one. Now, there was a race to stop terror convict shopkeepers release. Now, this is on January the 29th, 27th, 29th. He's due to be released because he'll served half his sentence. And they want to change the law for all people convicted of terrorism, that they will serve 3/4 of their sentence instead of half of it. Unless they're on a life sentence, in which case it is.
What is the point of sentencing somebody to 10 years knowing they will only serve 5?
If they behave.
Indeed, yeah. They've got to be model prisoners. I mean, the plain fact of the matter is we don't want any terrorist activity on our streets, do we? So is this a step towards actually reducing terrorist activity?
Well,
it's a step towards addressing parole. You can't. I don't think you can just pick this offence and retrospective, because let's say it was for manslaughter, where you currently get, is it 2/3? Isn't it? Don't you do 1/3 of your sentence somewhere for good behaviour? I'm not sure, but.
You can be released on license. You can be released on license with a tag. You know, there's a whole different load of ways. But that guy that they shot, there was 15 men monitoring him.
25, John.
No, okay. There's 25 in the pool, but there was only 15 working at a time.
Oh, okay.
So that's 15 people monitoring one person.
Are they driving? Are they following him in a car? Yeah, you just made it.
You look at the number of plainclothes policemen that appeared out of nowhere, including one poor fella who got a gun pointed at him and had to go, "I'm you, I'm you." Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I've seen that it could fail on is that you can't re-sentence some. I better go, boys.
Well, the only person I've had a call is Stephen. I just ignored mine because I've turned the sound off. But I don't know why, but it's probably the same person 3 times.
Just sorry, Peter.
You've got no sound, Pete.
That was my fault.
Okay.
You're back now, Peter.
Thank you very much. So are we talking about this terrorist getting followed?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about the sentences rather than the terrorist himself. It was me that dived off on
20 years minimum. 20 years minimum.
No,
and then
don't agree, Pete. Life, and life means life.
Or if they kill somebody. But here's the sad thing. They were waiting for it. What if that teacher that got stabbed died and said, yeah, well, we're waiting for this to happen?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, and you know the good thing is Priti Patel. She's going to, the need to hard him up and just bring him in. So you were thinking about terrorism? We'll give you time to think about it. 10 years, next, bring him in. That's my liberal view on it.
No,
10 years is too short.
No, for even thinking about it.
Yes, exactly. Life.
Oh, wow, I never thought you would be liberal.
Okay, on that.
How about you, Stephen? What's your thoughts?
I don't have any. On that note,
we can't let it go on.
We have a topic from Claire. COP26.
You know, I have to say, this sounds like the title of a TV show. Okay?
Right.
I know that it's not, but it's just what it sounds like. Come in, COP26, your time is up.
And just remind me what it stands
calling
for.
car 47. Sorry, Peter. Right. Sorry, Peter, you're back.
Car 47. Z cars.
Right.
No. Car 47 was a song
that
echoed what I just said.
Okay, so it's got me.
Right.
What's COP26 then? What is it?
John?
It's a conference on, well, we sacked the minister who was supposed to be running it.
Claire Perrier was, our ex-MP in Devices.
Claire Perrier,
Yeah. And she came back and she gave Boris, well, I think
Farrell, I think, is the best.
Farrell, she said that anything he says can't be taken as being anywhere near the truth.
Do you know something?
Get the money first, she said. Yeah, Peter.
I think we're doing our best. As somebody said once to Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is, why don't you go to China? Because they're the worst polluters and have a chat with them. And wouldn't it be great if we all had multi-million-pound boats without a toilet to go across and visit places, you know? And who did I see yesterday? There was somebody yesterday came off a private jet and was hiding behind somebody because they know they'd been nobbled because they were travelling on a private jet. I can't remember who it was, you know? And it's just getting ridiculous that we are doing our bit.
So do we want to talk about COP26, which of course is the climate change conference? Yeah. It's the one that follows up the Paris Agreement that Mr. Trump tore up. Right. It's in up your way, isn't it, Peter? Isn't it in Glasgow?
It was meant to be in Glasgow, I think.
Oh, yeah. It still is in Glasgow.
Still in Glasgow. But Nicola Sturgeon's not getting anything, not getting a say. Did you know that? She's not happy.
Well, it's an international conference, isn't it? And she's not an international leader. She's a regional leader.
That's right. And she better start thinking like that. You know?
You don't like her at all, do you? You just do not like her.
No, but it's not so much. She just needs to stop it. She's not getting her second referendum.
Well, have you heard that Mr. Johnson wants Mr. Cameron to read it?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mr. Cameron's given him the finger.
Is he?
Indeed. And Peter has a point.
I have reduced the discussion into a single phrase there, but basically Mr. Cameron doesn't want to do it.
No.
Right.
But Peter has a point. Until China, India, and the USA get on board, then it's the minnows battling because the big fish, going back to our fishing thing earlier, the big fish just are not interested. They don't, America in the guise of President Trump don't believe that climate change exists. So it's an uphill battle. It's
Extinction Rebellion to do with climate change.
It is, yeah.
Right. So I was listening the other day. If they come up with their shenanigans for blocking off streets and everything that's been done the other week, I think they're going to be what is called in the past Red the Riot Act. Did you hear about that? And they take it out, loud hailers, under the Riot Act, if you don't disperse now, you will be arrested. Because and we'll Red the Riot Act. That's what they used to do in the olden days.
In the days of Peterloo.
Peterloo.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Was in Manchester.
Right.
And the Peterloo Massacre.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
It's basically not one of our brightest moments. It's basically the Industrial Revolution, the Peterloo Massacre, and the Riot Act. And let's go to Kevin, shall we, before we get too tied up in things. And the gentleman who's being released at the end of the month, will it be monitored? Well, yeah, they could have 15 or 25 people on him.
Yeah.
And another comment from Kevin. Say hello to Kevin as well.
Hi, Kevin.
Kevin, have you got any videos for us this afternoon? Sorry to change the subject.
No, it's okay. Please do. Right. And Michelle's saying life and prison system is busting at the seams from Kevin. And terrorism should be life from Michelle. And also, Streatham is a mile from me, bit close for comfort.
Yeah. See, they just think they can do anything now. They'll come out, will knife you, whatever. It's just, they need to be put in to a prison and their hands are looking out the bars and say, any chance of having a look at my sentence again? Yeah, you're staying in. Bye. That would be vote me for prison governor.
Okay, Pete. So we're going to send them all up to Peterhead Prison.
Peterhead Prison. Aye, not the new one, the old dilapidated one. Get in there. I've been at Peterhead
I mean,
Prison.
haven't they got an old prison next door that's empty?
Well, they've got the old prison. It's actually a living museum.
Is it? All right.
And the officer that was when they had the big riots, and they took hold of the prison officers and hid them on the roof, threatening to throw them off. Jackie Stewart's name. He's 90, and the SAS actually were sent in, and it took them all 5 minutes to control it. And Jackie Stewart is now an official guide in the prison. It was the SAS, and they come in and they quickly gave in because they had no mercy. I believe they just went in and took them down. And that was the end of that. And that was Maggie Thatcher days. My heroine.
Have you got LEDs in the corners of your glasses?
No, this is pound glasses from the corner shop. I see that myself. Yeah,
they look like LEDs.
No, they're not. They're yellow pound. Do you know, somebody sent me that had blue ones, and somebody says, really like your glasses, Peter. I says, you can get them for £1.
I was wearing some the other day, and somebody said they look nice. They were four for £3 from.
I've got glasses, but going back to.
I keep breaking them. I put books down on top of them and all that sort of thing. So the really cheap glasses are worth having around. Sitting on them is my favourite.
Going back to
the cost of £1.
Going back to the prisons, what I think we should have is maybe then, if they're going to put them in for life, put them into prisons that they know they're not getting out for terrorists only, dotted throughout the country. And every 5 years you can say to them, we're actually going to give you a change. You're going up to, you're down in Sussex at the moment, we're going to give you a change of view. We're taking you to Peterhead and you can look out the bars there. That'd be a good idea.
Over the sea. Vote Peter. Vote Peter. New hashtag for you, Peter. Vote Peter.
Oh, my liberal ways. It's great. Do you know I'm actually against capital punishment? You wouldn't believe that, would you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Have you ever read the Hangman's books? Pierpoint. No. I have. And I've read, and there's another guy called Sid Derley, who was his assistant, who then became a chief hangman. Now, Pierpoint was against hanging in the end, but Sid was still for hanging in the end. And do you know how long it took Pierpoint to bump him off from start to finish? 7 seconds. That was it. But he even had to hang someone from his own pub. Were you aware of that? So there was a guy, he was a publican, nobody knew who he was, but one of the guys he used to sing with and have a joke with and go up and sing duets together murdered his girlfriend. And then when he looked in to measure him up, the guy looked up and he says, "Oh, I'm glad it's you, Albert. I'm glad you're doing the job." And Albert hung him. Very good book, actually. I really recommend you read it. You know?
Right. A couple more topics before we go. And one is, I didn't think of this angle, but the NSPCC is urging Facebook to stop its encryption plans. There are plans by Facebook to actually encrypt messaging end to end, and we bring one of our tech correspondents in to join us on this one. End-to-end encryption, so any communications cannot be intercepted. That's the idea. If I sent a message to John, I could read it, John could read it, but nobody in between could actually see it. And they're saying that will open us up to the criminal element, and in particular, in PCC are saying that it stops the monitoring of conversations between sexual predators and their prey.
Yeah,
which is one way of putting it. I thought, should everything be encrypted or should everything be unencrypted? If we don't have to,
if you want to have secure banking, if you want to have secure shopping, if you want to have anything where money gets involved, and if you want to use the internet for this stuff, then it has to be.
This is about Facebook messages being encrypted.
I agree, but you can't. Looking at it in isolation isn't the way forward, because it's like that prison thing we were talking about earlier on. They're looking to introduce a law to do something retrospectively. This is like trying to introduce a law which says that all encryption is good or available except for when the government says otherwise. And I get the issue about child protection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
so
it really is a civil liberties issue. So it's much bigger than just one facet of it. And I don't know what the answer is. I really don't.
Right. So when these encrypted messages are passed to each other, does Facebook know what the encrypted messages say?
No.
Well, they should have a way of knowing what it said, and if there's any form of sexual abuse or anything for kids anyway,
terrorism.
Yeah. They should then
That's
step
why they
in
use
and say,
WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is encrypted.
Yes. So they should then step in and say, send it to the police or whatever, and the government should say encryption's okay, but as a matter of security, child abuse, blah blah blah, terrorism, then we can step in and monitor it.
Well, it's about the government being able to monitor it. That's
absolutely
the key thing.
But they need the key,
but not taking advantage of it and using laws. Like,
we'll build a law which says that the government can eavesdrop on any conversation, and they just have to promise to be good about it.
Well, it's a difficult one, is it?
Don't do that already.
We've got people like Peter who've got great ideas, and then when you try to sort of take the next step, which is, what's the implications of it? There isn't an answer for it.
Well,
they've got a great idea, but they don't understand the subject beneath it.
But it should pick up words like...
No, they can't. How?
They should make something for it.
So one government, which is really a right-wing bunch of you-know-whats, decides that any word like gay or LGBTQ, they've decided that they don't like gays, okay?
Yes.
And they then start to monitor for all the traffic for gay people.
Yeah, well, they're doing that
then
now.
Then another government comes in, and they don't like, what should we say, people who drink coffee. And then they start to monitor traffic. So the governments come and go, and you've got a great idea that yes, the government should have. Sorry, it's the other way around. We would like children to be safe online, but you've not got the tools to guarantee that.
Yeah, but we'll have something.
And yet you come back with your knee-jerk reaction like the government are, which is, oh, well, make it 3/4 of a parole sentence. And there's no way to argue each way. It's difficult to argue each way.
Well, I can tell you now, I'll tell you what Facebook's very good at just now. Anybody that opposes someone else's view and they don't like it, they're soon getting rid of them quite quickly.
Oh.
No, you're doing it again, mate. It's not
no,
the case. It's not the
telling
case.
you.
Hey, guys, it's 11 o'clock.
Oh, right, 11. I've enjoyed myself.
I wanted to ask about a topic that Peter won't be interested in, but what do people think of the Premiership's winter break in the mildest winter we've had for something like 70 years? The introduction of the winter break.
When is it happening or not?
It started. We're on the winter break now.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's no matches between for 2 weeks basically.
It's not much of a break.
It's
really.
dependent on your club. I mean, poor old Burnley only get a 10-day winter break, whereas others get up to 15 days. Depends.
We're Northerners. That's all we need, John.
Well, actually, it's Northerners that get the 15 days, but we won't go too far into that.
Brings me back to
you get a winter break anyway, but you have your winter break when it's winter.
What's winter?
Well, they have that. They are sensible enough to have their winter break over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
When in Scotland it is generally quite bad weather.
Yeah. Although they do play on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And also play on the 1st of January.
What I mean is that the height of winter is normally that sort of part of the year, not February. But hey. So nobody thinks much of it. And Stoke City don't get a winter break anyway because they're not in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. Only for the Premier League, okay.
It's a Premier League thing. It's not a football league.
Lads need a rest. And as Claire would say, it's the law of unintended consequences. And most of life.
Winter break in the lowest winter.
Most of what happens in life is unintended. If it was intended, then we'd all be pretty annoyed with what happens. And back to Kelly. Kelly's saying 42 minutes. This is the important bit. This is what we want to hear. It's only 42 more days till spring.
Yes, I've seen his little birdie that he's posted.
Yeah, we just want to get through winter and into spring, and then it's National Trust time. Right. Okay.
What do people think about Ronnie Russell having to sell his George medal?
Who's Ronnie Russell?
Ronnie Russell is the former heavyweight boxer that thumped the man who was trying to kidnap Princess Anne in 1974.
All right, okay.
The Queen gave him the George medal, and the Queen also gave him her thanks as the mother, which she made a point of making separate statements about.
Mm-hmm.
But he's having to sell his George medal for his health care.
Right. There's a lot of people had to do that.
72 now.
Do you know who owns the most?
He got shot, by the way, doing this, Peter.
Yeah,
just a bloke that walked up and thumped somebody. He got shot whilst thumping him.
Yeah. I do remember the incident now. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people have had to sell their medals to live. And do you know who owns most of the Victoria Crosses in Britain?
Well, he's pretty well known and he does lend them out because most of them are in museums, aren't they?
Yeah.
But he also contributes to different political parties, doesn't he? So.
Yeah. Lord Ashcroft.
Not for the life of me think his name.
Lord Ashcroft.
Lord Ashcroft, that's the word. Yeah.
John, 5th attempt. Go. It's 11:05.
It's 11:05, and it's been pleasurable to have an extra 5 minutes today to listen to the bigots of the North go on.
The truth seer.
The truth sayer. Is that
the
definition of bigotry? Okay. I enjoy winding Peter up, by the way, for those who don't know. So it's going to be goodbye from Scotland.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Stoke-on-Trent. Goodbye from Wiltshire. And goodbye from the Midlands.
A bit.
See you all next week. Take care and thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap.